welcome back to the channel. So today we've got a Nikola Jokic build, so make sure he's a center and we'll move on to the body settings. So on basketballreference.com he's listed at 6'11", and I think that's quite accurate because I don't think he's quite a 7-footer. I think he's definitely, 6'11" or under. Probably too tall to be 6'10", I think 6'11" is definitely his height. Now in terms of the weight, obviously these are just template builds, so if you want to adjust the weight, you're perfectly fine to do so. I just found the default weight of 253 pounds to be good enough to be able to get the stats that I wanted. So I just left it at 253, and then wingspan, we're going to push to 7'8". Now the max you can go is 7'9", but I've just dropped it one below to 7'8", just for a bit of shooting. But obviously, tinker with the build to what you want, but it's only 1 inch below the max, so I don't think it's too bad. And then the body shape I've just gone with solid because, I'm sure Markieff Morris could tell you he's pretty solid. So that's the body shape I've gone for. Now for the attributes, Jokic, he's a fantastic player. He's totally well-rounded. He's a point center. He dribbles the ball up the floor. He does everything. He's not a terrible defender. I'd say he's not an incredible defender, but he can definitely block some shots here and there, get some steals. He's so well-rounded. It was really hard to make this build the way I wanted it. Just due to how limited you are with the attribute points compared to previous 2Ks, but I hope I've done a good enough job for people. But of course you can always change things if you don't like certain things here and there. But in terms of the close shot, I felt like this was his best attribute. He's so crafty around the rim that this needed to be really high. So what I've done is I've pushed it all the way to 96. So at 96 you get Fast Twitch Hall of Fame, which I think is a really cool badge for Jokic. He's so crafty. He looks slow, but I'm sure if you're defending him, it's really fast, and that's the reason he doesn't get blocked. And is also with the really high release point, it can be very difficult to block. Now for driving layup, I've just pushed it to 70 just to get the animations. There's some big man animations you can get at 70, and also driving dunk I've pushed to 72. So at 70 you get some animations, and at 72 you just get posterizer bronze. Now you don't get the contact dunks off 1 and 2, any of the dribbling or the driving ones, but posterizer bronze, that can still help you finish over the defenders. And he has got some decent posterizing dunks too off the bounce, so I think it was good to get that bronze. Now for standing dunk, he's not known as a huge posterizer, but he can definitely throw down over the top of defenders, particularly ones that are shorter than him. He's so big that he just muscles them out of the way and slams it down. So we're going to push standing dunk to 85. Now you get the pro big man contact dunks at 80, but you get the pro alley-oops contact dunks at 85. So I wanted to give that versatility. He doesn't catch many oops like that, but I didn't want the build to sort of have that capability. It's for the players, because I still think that option is really handy on the game. Now for post control, obviously he's an amazing post player, and the great thing about post control is that you don't really need to max it out like you do close shot to get the Badgers Hall of Fame. You only need to go to 87 to get them all Hall of Fame. So you back down punishes Hall of Fame, drop stepper, dream shake, post spin, they're all Hall of Fame for you at 87. And he's probably the best post player in the league at the moment, particularly as a big man. I'd say he's definitely the best big man post player. So that'll be all for finishing. Now for shooting, we know he's a stretch big, and we've seen him hit some clutch threes, but he's actually not a terrific 3-point shooter. He only averages 34.5% from 3 for his career. In 2020 and 2021, that season, he did shoot 38.8% from 3, so he can definitely shoot threes, and that was his first MVP season. Obviously, he's gone back-to-back last season, but he only shot 33.7% last season, so he's not a very consistently good shooter. I'd say he's average, and he has his peaks and troughs. So in saying that, we're only going to push mid-range shot to 70 and 3-point shot to 76. So the reason for 76 is just so we get Claymore Gold. I think that's a really good badge on the game, particularly only in Tier 2. I think that's really handy. And also for the 15 badge points, because you only need 1 more badge point with your +4 that you get to get some Tier 3 badges core. So you could get catch and shoot as a core badge on silver if you put 1 more into this. And then, you know, you can put corner specialist silver, or you got Deadeye limitless range bronze if you want those. So you should be able to make a decent shooter. I've got a friend who plays with only a 75 3-point shot with not a whole lot of badges. And with the way jump shooting is now, you can really customize your jump shot a lot better, I believe. And, you know, really green shots with a lower rating. So 76 shouldn't be too bad. Now for free throw, we're going to push that to 80 because he is an 83% free throw shooter. So I think that's around the mark. That's pretty good. Now for playmaking, obviously he dribbles the ball up and he does average, you know, around 6 assists for his career. In recent seasons, that's been around 8 assists. So unfortunately, Dimer is in tier 3. I would have loved to have Dimer on this build, but it's in tier 3, which is a bit of a bummer. But I've chosen to just put pass accuracy to 78 just to get the 10 badge points. And also ball handle I've pushed to 60 because he can dribble a bit. So I wanted to get it to 60. I'm not sure if you get any animations at 60. But it did give me, you know, just a rounded number. If you wanted to push that to 65, I believe is the minimum for some animations. You can definitely do that. But at 60, I just felt that was a decent rating. Obviously, he's not quick on the ball. He's not quick in general, so speed with ball is not much of an issue for this Jokic build. But I wanted to get it to 12 because it meant that you only need, if you wanted to get Dimer, you would need to put all 4 badge points that you get into playmaking to get it. And that would mean that you'd be able to core Dimer and then, you know, get Needle Threader as well, or post Playmaker on silver. So I just wanted to give you that option. Obviously, you know, in shooting, you might want to do that to get those badges silver, but there's an option there to put them all in playmaking to get those Dimer badges and Needle Threader and things. So it's a bit of a bummer it's in tier 3, but that's there if you wanted it. That's something I did have to sacrifice, unfortunately. Now for defense, like I said, he's not a fantastic defender. I'd say he's pretty decent. You know, he holds it down for the Denver Nuggets. You know, he's gone toe-to-toe with a lot of other big men. You know, he's been able to, you know, I'd say he was the better player in most of the matchups against Embiid and players like that. So, you know, interior defense 80 I think is pretty good for Jokic. Perimeter defense just goes to 31 and steal goes to 32 just because there's some other attributes. Block we're going to push up to 87. He doesn't average a block a game. It's only 0.7 for his career. So he's not a huge shot blocker, but I still wanted that versatility there. Offensive rebounds, we're going to push to 85 because, you know, he averages 10 boards a game. 2.5 of those are offensive rebounds. It's a quarter of his rebounds, so I did want a decent offensive rebound rating. But we're going to push defensive rebound to 94. So we get that Hall of Fame box out beast with also the gold rebound chaser along with the 24 defensive badges. So what you can do is you can core pogo stick, get rebound chaser gold, and then get anchor on silver and still have a point left over. So I think that's really great badge point tier level, or badge points of 24 badge points is really great. Now for physicals, he's not very quick, we know that. So we're only going to push speed to 60 and acceleration to 60, which I think is actually pretty decent for a center. Sort of in the middle, so you should be too bad with those stats. Strength, we're going to push to 86 because, of course, you know, us the Morris twins, they know he's a big boy, he's very strong, so we want to push strength up pretty high. Now for vertical, we are going to push that to 65 to get those animations, so make sure that's 65, and the rest we're going to chuck on stamina for a total of 90 stamina. Oh, one more in vertical, 66 vertical, and that's the build. So in total we have 23 finishing, 15 shooting, 12 playmaking, and 24 defensive badges for a total of 74 badges on this Jokic build. That's got pretty decent defense, great rebounding, can definitely get farm assists with those break starts, starter badges, you know, outlet passes I mean. Can shoot from the perimeter if you're good enough, and has got really great inside scoring along with post moves as well. So you should be a really versatile center build. I hope you have a lot of fun with this one. Now in terms of the takeovers, which chose advanced post moves because obviously he's a great post player, and glass clearing dimes because his outlet passes are amazing. And as you can see, you've got shades of Valanciunas, Jack Sikma, and Domantas Sabonis. I'd say Sabonis in particular is like a Jokic light version. You know, really good post player, can dribble, pass, So I think they're quite similar, but we'll take a look at the badges. Now for finishing for Jokic, obviously we just want the post badges really. So, you know, put that on, back down Punisher on Hall of Fame. You probably only want drop stepper, so you can get both of those Hall of Fame, and that's your 10 already done. And you can use the rest on, you know, the tier 3 badges. So you can core fast twitch, get rise up, you know, on silver, and still have 7 left over to put it on something else. So, you know, Masher could be a good one if you ever get a mismatch on a smaller guy. Bully's there to help you get some layups if you want to use that. Limitless takeoff, there's a lot of badges, but just for Jokic, I'd say those are the ones that really represent him. You know, probably post spin as well, dream shake. Those would be badges I would put on if you wanted to make a real Jokic build, but of course he's still got a lot more to use and a lot of other badges to equip as well. Now for shooting, he's not a great shooter. He's definitely a clutch shooter, so I want to put these two on. You know, he's a volume shooter. You know, Claymore he can definitely spot up. We've got 4 more until we can get to tier 3. You know, amped. He gets fatigued, but he's somehow got a, you know, that he grits his teeth and pushes through it. So I definitely wanted that. You know, people don't contest him properly. He definitely just rises up and hits it. So, you know, that's our 10 there. And you've still got 5 left. So, like I said, if you wanted to put an extra badge point in shooting, you can core, catch and shoot silver, and then put on something like corner specialist to help you hit from the corners. But that should be a good one for Jokic. Now for playmaking, like I said, you can't get any tier 3 ones, but if you wanted to push more points into this, you can get some of them on, you can core one and get another one. But for Jokic, definitely want break starter gold. You know, vice grip I think is a great badge to have. Put that on bronze at least. He's definitely the floor general of his team. You know, he's very good at throwing oops as well. And you know, you may want something else like handles for days just to help, because you do have a decent dribble for a center. Now for defense, you know, he's not a great defender, I would say, but he's probably above average. So he does average a fair bit of steal, so get these steal badges on. You know, he's really good at boxing out players. And then the last one you may want to put is, you know, post lockdown. He's quite good in the defending the post. I'll take that off just to have it 10. And you've still got the 14 badges left, so you can put, you know, rebound chaser on as your core. Get pogo stick on silver, even though that's probably not realistic. You know, he's a great badge to have. You know, brick walls there, you can get that gold. You know, anchors there as well. You can tinker with this to, you know, to get them all on, but that could be a really great layout for Jokic. All in all, that's the build. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a really great day.